Right, so if we look at these two, these are the two kind of chip shots around the green that we get. The first on the left-hand side is ball back, which is going to be your lower shot, okay, your more running shot.
Yeah.
Could use a wedge or a 9 or a 7, whatever you want to do, okay. But obviously by having the ball back in the stance, okay, that de-lofts the club, the ball's going to come off generally lower.
Yeah.
And is the safest shot if we're honest, okay?
Yeah.
Now,
see, I think I've got too much weight on the back
there
foot
is a
as
little
well.
bit there, compared to this on the left-hand side here now, okay? Now, the reason why this is a safer shot, you get away with a bit more weight on your back foot, and also in the swing, if you whoop and lean back a little bit, you can get the club back here somewhere, still at a reasonable shot, so your hands are by your right leg when you're making contact there, so they're definitely all back behind, almost trying to get under the ball. Now, we're putting the ball back there to try and play a lower running shot, okay, which is a specific shot you may choose to play when that requires it, okay? If you want the ball higher, we move the ball forward. Now, yes, it's an option we can have, but it takes obviously more skill and it gets less margin of error. And I think sometimes the lie will dictate whether you can play this shot. Okay, and do you need to play this shot? Is there something in the way? If there's nothing in the way, just play a low running shot. Okay. But in terms of setup, you've got narrower now. You put that front foot back a little bit, which is opened yourself out with the lower half. Shoulders are still parallel to target, so you're just swinging the arms towards target, but bringing that lead foot back just a little bit. Just restricts your backswing length, okay? Your backswing length now has been a bit short. Even there, that for what was in your mind, this was like the 50-yard shots you were doing, okay? So leaning back just a little bit there. Because the ball was back, we got away with it a little bit, but a good twist around it. These are now the shorter ones around the green, okay? And if you just watch the movement here now, obviously it's a lot shorter backswing, okay? But as you go through the golf ball here now, you're moving to your left a lot more. The fact your knees coming in this way, your torso's twisting through there. And that would be kind of where you want to finish. You go a little bit longer than you need to, I suppose, and a little bit is that you just want to hit it a whack, give it a whack, okay? Controlling swing. I mean, I'd still say we'd be more here to here with a bit more speed to try and almost like you're giving it a bit more of a hit. Give it a hit with some more sort of shorter pop rather than just a long hit swing, because over 17 yards, that's quite a big swing for a 17-yard shot. Most people, when they're playing these shots successfully, would probably have their clubs somewhere around, I guess, sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock on a clock face. If that was sort of down there at 6, your clubs get up towards sort of 3 and beyond. It's too big a movement sometimes, okay? But I think in terms of playing these higher lofted shots, yes, a more lofted club will help. But you can still play them with a 50 degree, obviously, you've shown that, okay? The lie's got to be good, but you've got to keep that face almost facing back. If the toe starts overtaking and you use your hands to release the club, it will just go low left on you, roll a lot, and come out a lot firing quicker. Which, if you want to play that shot, brilliant. But if you don't, and you want to play a floatier shot, shall we say, you need to be able to learn to hold that club face open a bit more, okay? But the key thing is the ball back in this setup is an easier shot. We get away with more leaning back issues, okay? The ball's forward, you lean back, you hit the ground with the stickers, and you just fat it. So it's risk reward. If your chipping's not great that day, probably start sticking it back on that back foot by bringing the foot closer. Don't have the same width to stance as a full, so you can move the ball back, because then your shaft will be like this and you'll be just coming down so steep you're just digging the ground. So the ball is either back or forward, but back when the stance is very narrow. It's not full width like a driver or 5-iron stance. You move the ball, because then you've got a real steep swing, and good luck to you then in the muddy conditions, okay? So does that kind of make sense there with that, Great, okay.